Being a lifelong Star Trek fan, I can appreciate other sci-fi shows taking cues and ideas from what started it all. Imitation is the highest form of flattery and all that. So when a new show is introduced with the same style, themes, and aesthetic, I wasn't worried about it being a rip-off of a great show. I just wanted to be first in line to get to see it. Especially considering the state of Star Trek as it is today.
It makes total sense that you're angry. I disappointed you. I'm truly sorry.
The Orville came flying on the scene, ready to do battle with the current slate of Star Trek shows that most fans just couldn't stomach. It billed itself as a sci-fi comedy from the mind of Seth MacFarlane. You know, that guy that made this.
Got some dessert for you.
You gotta be kidding me.
Come on, it's throw up. You like throw up.
Knowing what we knew going in, we were ready and willing to give it a go. And to our surprise, it was actually pretty good. The jokes weren't always the best, but to be honest, I really wasn't in it for the comedy. I just needed good Star Trek, and this was the closest thing without actually being Star Trek. And if I'm really being honest, this show was more Star Trek than the current crap being shoveled in our faces from the Triceratops paddock in Jurassic Park.
That is one big pile of shit.
Now, this is where my little story takes a bad turn. You see, we waited for a couple years for the next season to be What? 3 freaking years? So, 3 years, 1 cancellation, and 1 virus of unknown origin later, and we finally have what we've been collectively holding on to our butts for.
Hold on to your butts.
And to all of our surprise, it was still good. Episode 1 came in strong with a follow-up story about the aftermath of letting Isaac stay on board the Orville and letting him serve. It was a very serious look at letting hatred get the better of you and what it can do to those it's directed at. Episode 2 followed with a great story of exploration and the dangers of rushing in where angels fear to tread, Charlie's Gay. Episode 3 was a fun mystery box filled with danger and a nice monologue about transhumanism and how we should merge man and machine and become our own gods. What? Okay, that was weird. Whatever. Charlie's Gay. Episode 4 was a political thriller that dealt with how capitalism and religion are bad, and running a political campaign based on populism and xenophobia will get you elected, and not allowing abortion is cruel. Wait, I've seen this story somewhere else before. If I could only remember. Charlie's Gay. Episode 5 is a continuation of the forced transition of a child from a female to male and the unintended consequences as it takes its mental toll on the victim and the strain on the parental relationship with both parents having different opinions on the matter. You know, I think I'm starting to see a pattern here. Did we get the old bait and switch again? Oh, by the way, did I mention Charlie's Gay? Raise your hand if you saw that coming. Yeah, I see you. I see you there in the back. Yeah, who couldn't see it coming? I knew at the moment she told her little story to Isaac about losing her best friend. I'm surprised they didn't make out a little bit before she sacrificed her life to save Charlie. But they drug it out so they could make the reveal later on in the season, to make it seem like they weren't just slapping you in the face with it. Which brings me to the point of this video. I believe the Orville is suffering from the same farcical mentality that socialists do. It's the idea that no matter how many times socialism has been tried and failed miserably, it's never been done right. So the socialists we have in our society today think they have a far smarter plan and can actually make it work this time, because they're smarter than all the death-dealing moron socialists that they look up to and worship. The showrunners for the Orville are no different. They look at all the woke TV shows and movies that have come before them and see how they failed miserably at pushing the message. Bet you can't name enough current properties that haven't gone full retard to fill an egg carton.
Never go full retard.
They believe they can weave it into their story in a way to make it palatable to the audience. They think they could do it better than everybody else. We've been bombarded with so much woke, they probably think we've become desensitized to it. So much so that we could accept their subtle message insertion with little to no clapback. Well, they're almost right. Don't think for a second we don't notice what you're doing. We see it very plainly. We're not as desensitized and dumb as you think we are. In fact, our sensitivity to the message is heightened, like a blind guy can hear his wife fart from 4 rooms away. But even though we know it's there, a lot of the fans have chosen to ignore it or even swallow the bile they threw up in their mouths and move on, hoping for better days to come. And I'm sorry, did we have to insert Nancy Pelosi into this series? But that kind of goodwill will only last so long. There will come an episode where they realize you've crossed that line and have no intentions of stepping back. Hollywood only has 2 choices for us. Drink a cup of poison and die instantly, or take several teaspoons over a longer period of time. We suffer longer and the results wind up being the same. You're dead. You've made the mistake of thinking your writing skills are as good as the giants that have come before you. In your arrogance, you think you can make a thought-provoking, intellectual-driven argument for your ideology that's coated in a sci-fi flavored candy shell. But in fact, you can't hold a candle to the greats, and your work is bitter and retch-inducing. I can't speak for the entire fandom, but I just want you to know,
you're basic.
Here's to hoping for better days.